Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Bloodstained Hard Mode Fresh on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries. And in this episode, after having successfully cleared out Inferno Cave and made it back after picking up the Aegis Plate and the Tower Twin Dragons using our invert, let's go check the shop real quick.
I have something new to offer you. What are you looking to buy? Is there anything?
Yes, we're gonna buy out your stock of potions. We don't need to buy any more waystones, but ooh, yay! She now is selling the beverages that we already made.
Yes, she has holy water and a nice cold glass of lemonade.
Alright, we're selling stuff now specifically so that we can attempt to buy food items when we actually need them, because we are about to go into a boss fight that I am just absolutely terrible at. Mind you, we're not going to be doing that boss fight this part, but we will be doing that boss fight next part, and I would like to be prepared for that fight.
Swordfish.
Oh, we didn't have any additional beast killers to sell. Oh well.
The voice changer.
It just makes Miriam's voice very squeaky.
Makes it easier to prank call people.
Okay, so we've already actually had the message where Zangetsu told us to go hunt down Oribus. All right. Roosh.
Yeah, I would imagine over here would be a rather unfortunate place to use invert.
Actually, no, because despite the fact that there is in fact open sky here, what ends up happening is you get to the top of the skybox, and then the game says no, you're not allowed to fly off into space, flips you back over and attempts to ground you.
Oh, so it just cancels the invert.
Yeah, it actually forces Miriam to recast invert.
Wee.
Yeah.
I wish we did Wii more often.
Well, there's not really all that many good spots for us to go Wii, so. See? Very few spots.
No, we have vertical and horizontal Wii.
Yes.
I kind of like the horizontal Wii.
You have access to this instance of shortcut actually much earlier on. I don't like going for it though, because unless I'm in the rando and I'm checking for safety mobility, there isn't really a good reason for me to have it. And I didn't actually put on Craftwork. Okay, so there, you have to use Craftwork in order to move this Iron Maiden, but you also need the Aegis Plate in order to get through here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you want, you can use healing items in order to get through the first set of these, but you need Aegis Plate and Craftwork in order to get through this.
That was a diagonal Wii.
Yes. They had to do an emergency patch shortly after release in order to fix that, because people were getting to the next area without Aegis Plate because they couldn't fucking find it. So that Iron Maiden there, the reason why it doesn't fall upwards like it's supposed to is specifically because it's tied directly to that platform. And behold, the Oriental Sorcery Lab. Hey, it's a gap. Let's kill it. Oh, we missed.
All right. Hot topic.
But yeah, that is Gap. Gap has got one of the more important shards for us that we probably aren't going to be farming for, at least on screen. Gap has actually got Augment Strength. And because, as you have seen, we're primarily a two-handed sword build for most of the run. So, yeah, it would be very nice for us to actually score Augment Strength from Gap whilst we're here. I don't think we actually farm for it on screen here. We might get it off screen, but I don't really remember. But the big enemies that you need to be worried about whilst you're here are the Guizens, because they actually move very erratically around and can, totally fuck you up because you're on hard mode. And another enemy that we will be showing off in just a moment. He is on this screen, but we're not showing him off here. In fact, I think we're actually going to be trying to go all the way through. No. We have to go up this way in order to do a full clear, because this connects over to Upper Danchet, and there are some treasure chests up here.
Yay.
Also, alongside there being treasure chests up here, this is actually one of the bad areas to farm for Cryo Wraith if you actually want Cryo Wraith's shard and Cursed Rings. Cursed Ring is an interesting accessory because it specifically inflicts Miriam with the curse status, and in exchange, it gives her a shitload of relatively nice stats. But because you're under the curse status, you effectively have your MP and HP cut in half. To be perfectly honest, I am relatively convinced that the Risk Ring specifically is a better trade-off, especially when you have both of them. But there are builds that specifically use double Curse Ring in order to cheese out the last couple sections of the game and a bunch of the earlier portions of the game as well. Because, you know, you have access to Cryo Wraith super early on, especially in hard mode.
Big monkeys.
And we get the Pickpocket Shard from killing Guizin. Pickpocket is totally fucking broken, as in, despite the fact that it is an enchant shard, you don't actually need it on in order for it to be working. I am unsure as to what actually has it bugged out so badly, but they've never fixed it. So you will notice from time to time that even though we're not running we're not running a pickpocket, when we do damage against enemies, they will occasionally just drop their items. Not there, because we actually killed them there. But that is the other big enemy that we need to worry about whilst we're here, the Ninja. Because the Ninja has got a couple of relatively powerful attacks. He's got Tempest Salandra, the vertical fire pillar. He's got the ability to throw daggers at us, which are, you know, relatively high damage. And he also has a Blade Dash attack. And because we're on hard mode, you know, he hits really hard because he's a ninja. Okay. Solving the Tension Gate puzzles is not honestly required, but there's some good loot to be had over here. You just saw that we got the ramen recipe book, which will allow us to eventually go and make some ramen dishes, which are relatively powerful.
Ooh.
This is the Crimsonite equipment book, which allows us to actually make the Crimsonite that the ninjas drop into very powerful gear, specifically armors like the Tatanashi, which is the second or literal best defensive equipment piece in the game. It's not something that we will actually be using, mind you, but it is something that we now have access to. And then, of course, there are the other Crimsonite weapons, although I don't think the Crimsonite equipment book gives us access to the next two-handed sword. It might give us access to the next two-handed sword, though, but I forget. This enemy, the Hagenti, is extremely important because not only is it a replacement for the Renee drops that the Zagan had the ability to drop earlier on in the game, but it also drops both Flying Beef, which is an incredibly important food material for endgame food items,
beef.
but it also drops the what is it called? It's not Flight Feather, because that's earlier on, but I forget what the item specifically is called, but it is a feather item that is the last one in its class, and that feather item specifically is how you actually make the final the second to last movement shard in the game, high jump. You need Hagenti's flying feather in order to make it, combined with, I believe it's double jump, yeah. And that will give you access to high jump, which is again the second to last movement upgrade in the game. You are in fact required to have either high jump or invert in order to traverse the next area that we're going to. So if you want to actually, you know, have a high jump instead, farming on one of the rooms that's got a single Hagente in it is extremely important. Get this teleporter. Not only is this an easy way in and out of here, but this is also the fastest spot that you have access to for farming one of the optional bosses. And yeah, I'm not going to show off us farming that particular optional boss, but mostly because I'm absolutely terrible at fighting it. But it is extremely important that you get this teleporter for him.
What are we transmuting this time?
Toy shoes, yay.
And they are very squeaky.
This game is just adorable at times.
Yes, we now have the ability to make the Dies Irae. We're not going to make the Dies Irae. We're not going to make the Dies Irae, even though it is a light elemental greatsword, specifically because it has less overall damage than the Durandal, and without the book after the one that gives us access to the Dies Irae, we can't actually make the final piece yet. I think the final two-handed sword that we need requires Dies Irae and what is it? I think it's Dies Irae and Orichalcum, and we won't see Orichalcum until the literal last area in the game. Also, we got the Shinobi Garb whilst we were killing the ninja, which is one of the best armor equipments in the game, because it not only increases our critical hit chance, but it also gives us raw strength power as well. So it is probably our primary boss killing equipment for the remainder of the game. It's very nice.
And let's go right back to the Oriental Sorcery Lab.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Where we will be encountering yet another interesting enemy that has an interesting directional shard, but one that I don't actually use. Not because it's bad. Oh, there. Okay, so we did get offense strength on screen.
I just wanted to say that we just found yet another we in the game, because we've gone over horizontal, vertical, diagonal, but now introducing the Z-Wee.
Not really, okay? She just jumps in. She doesn't actually travel that much.
Oh, that's a Wee. Come on, you're floating off and everything, and then you come back out of the stained glass, you do the reverse Z. Oh, so much Wee.
An important thing to note about the blue chests in the Oriental Sorcery Lab: they are one of the only areas in the game that you can actually acquire the food crafting item, soy sauce, and you need soy sauce specifically for a bunch of the later food dishes that are more Asian inspired.
No, you want to talk about some interesting Asian-style cuisine. I only just found out the other day that apparently putting tofu with fish and cooking it together is a thing, and I thought it was fucking delicious.
It does sound pretty nice, but then again, I don't like tofu that much, so...
Well,
but that was the kamikaze.
It's very fishy tofu.
The kamikaze is honestly a very interesting enemy because of the directional shard that it drops, Tornado Slicer. Tornado Slicer, as a spell, is relatively powerful, can be upgraded to 9/9, as with the majority of other shards in the game. But I don't actually use it, simply because I'm not entirely certain that it's better than Inferno Breath. Like, I keep harping on the benefits of having Inferno Breath because it's just so efficient. The thing is, I keep getting told specifically that with decent cancel tech, this is something that I learned actually just recently. Aqua Stream is specifically actually more damage per second than Inferno Breath, even while capped out. And I don't know, man. I need to actually see that in action in order for me to actually believe it, because Inferno Breath, even before it gets capped out, is just worth so much fucking damage per second,
Well, we've been using it quite a bit. You spawn the dragon, it sprays fire, and things die.
Yeah.
It's
and I honestly
really
don't think that Aquastream has the ability to do that. I mean, you attempt to spawn the water geysers, and it takes it's not a we also got Shuriken. Haha. Shuriken's not actually a bad conjure shard. He's just one I don't use. There's the Ofuda Talisman, an interesting accessory because, it's not great, to be fair, but it is, it's more references of stuff.
Oh, here we go. Time for silhouette combat.
Yes. You are actually expected to fight everything here, and I'm just saying, nope, I don't want to do it. Goodbye.
I'm too powerful.
It's not that we're too powerful, it's that I don't want to spend the resources fighting these guys, especially when the save room is right here.
Precisely.
More miso.
And in the next part...
In the next part, we'll take on the actual hardest boss in the game, even in hard mode. Be safe, everybody.
Thanks for watching, everyone.